Today's Extra.
It's time for the Manager Show here on the Anglers Extra pregame show. Chatham takes on Harwich today at Veterans Field, a 7 p.m. first pitch. Joe Puccio, as always, with Chatham manager Tom Holliday. Tom, a few games ago, you said that short-term memory is important in the game of baseball. How is yours holding up right now?
Got a little struggle going on. I mean, you know, I have to be just like the players too. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, we have another game that day, and you got to learn how to go to sleep when you have a rough night. It's always a lot easier to sleep when you play good and win, and when you don't, by the time you lay in bed long enough to solve the problems in your mind, what you think you got to do, then you fall asleep before you know it, you're awake. That's never going to change. I mean, anybody takes the game seriously, that's just the routine. So my short-term memory, I mean, we play so much baseball up here. Boy, you really do earn that.
When you were a player, how did you get out of a slump?
You know, I never...
Never got in a slump?
No, I don't know. I mean, I talked to myself. I used self-talk. I mean, I would lean on somebody I'd find and say, hey, you see anything I'm doing wrong? And early on in my life, I had good coaches. I had good hitting coaches. My high school coach was great. Then I got to go to junior college, and that was really great. I got to four-year school at Miami. It was like, you better have taught yourself, because that was no longer, it was all about expectation at that level. So, you know, you just kind of like, okay, he got me out with a slider. I better figure out how to hit a slider. And if I ever did, I would have played a long time. But sliders were you know, they were tough on me. But sometimes, Joe, you have to be able to say, I had 4 at bats, 2 of them were ugly. Why? And solve it yourself. I mean, you know, the game's yours. The bat's yours. Hitting instructors are great, you know, but they can't play the game for you. And so many times you lean on them for answers, and they can show you film, and they can say, look, this is what you're doing wrong. Hey, it's your responsibility to fix it. And I think hitters, and speaking for myself, I mean, I would hit balls the other way by accident, and somebody would say, that's a great stroke. You know, you really go the other way well. I'm like, no, that was an accident. The guy beat me. You know, that fastball, I was behind it. Oh, well, you hit it down the line for a double. Well, I'll take it. But I wasn't trying to go there. And now it's like hitting guys are trying to tell kids to be directional hitters. That's hard to do. And baseballs are coming at you harder now than ever. So be careful how hard you push that. And honestly, did I ever get in a slump? Sure. Or I would have played a lot longer.
Tom Holliday here on the Manager Show. Tom, are you having these similar conversations with your players during this losing streak?
Yeah, I think it's time to shut up, because before you know it, you're talking about so many of the negative things that happen in the game, and that's not what this is about. You know, there's some guys that need some help. There's some guys that are here that didn't see this kind of pitching during their season. And you know, it's kind of good for the junior college kids that come up here. The pitching here is better than where they were. But it's good for them, because they're going to some other school now, and they're going to face this. So they're getting a chance to see what college ball is going to be all about. But, you know, anybody that thinks hitting a baseball is easy should get a bat in their hand and try to do it. And as long as hitters don't give up, the game can beat you. You know, you can go 1 for 8, 1 for 9. But, boy, when you see guys going 3 for 18, you got to learn to pick them up. And it doesn't do any good to tell them what they're doing wrong. You got to dwell on a line drive, even if it's an out. I mean, a line drive out's a success. If you're always talking about, holy cow, he can't hit anything that spins, well, you know what? That gets back to him, and you just crushed him. And it happens. And sometimes you're too close to kids up here, and, you know, we're doing our darndest to stay as positive as we can. And patience, well, if you don't have patience, you shouldn't coach. And I don't get mad at kids. I mean, I pull for them. What the hell good is it to get mad?
Tom, you have a new hitter in the lineup today with Derek Fabian. He just came from Florida in the College World Series. As you take a sip of your tea that's in a coffee mug here. But let's focus on Fabian here. What did you see during his spring season?
Well, I saw a guy that kind of like kind of a weird deal too. I mean, he started out like he was going to be the shortstop or being in the infield plan for Sully. And then a guy that we know really well, Josh Rivera, may have had the best year of his career so far. I hope he has a career after this. So Josh Rivera kind of, pushed him to the bench. And I know Derek got some innings at second, at third, and whatever, like you do at schools like Florida, because they bash people at times. But he wants to play shortstop. And when I talked to him, he called me one night, and I said, yeah, you're my kind of guy. You want the Cape, coming off 100 at bats. Yep, come on up. Well, it took him a while to get there, and so he's here and he's going to play. And we're getting close to being able to do what we had planned. And then Aiden Mueller, gets run over last night by a train that's named Schubert, and so we got a trick shoulder that I think he's going to be okay in about a week or so. So we'll try to tough it out with him. But so now we lose the third baseman that was in this plan. So it's going to give Casarilla more reps at third. We're going to play Trent. We're going to play Kent over at first base. We're not going to quit working with him on the infield at short, because he really likes that. But I got to get first base stabilized. And Ballestero has gone back home. He's got graduate school responsibility, so this morning I turned him loose a little bit earlier. He was going to have to leave us on the 5th anyway to get back to his new school. So when Fabian shows up, somebody's got to go.
Excited to see Fabian, and thanks for all the updates, Tom.
Yeah, I hope it's a good debut for him. It's again, stay away from that try hard thing. Just go out there and play and try to have fun.